Hey, do you have a minute to help me with some Python concepts?
Sure, I always have time for Python. What are you stuck on?
I'm trying to wrap my head around mutable and immutable objects.
That is a fundamental concept. It trips up a lot of beginners.
I know the basic definitions, but I don't truly get it deep down.
Okay, let's start with the basics. How do you define them right now?
Well, mutable means it can change, and immutable means it can't.
That is correct on the surface. But what exactly is changing?
The value inside the variable?
Precisely. Let's look at a list. If you have a list of numbers, can you add to it?
Yes, I can append a new number to the list.
Right. And when you do that, the list stays at the same memory address.
So the container is the same, but the contents changed?
Exactly. That is mutability. The object identity remains constant.
Okay, that makes sense for lists. Dictionaries are the same, right?
Yes. Dictionaries and sets are also mutable. You can modify them in place.
So what about the immutable ones, like strings?
Strings are the perfect example. Try to change the first letter of a string.
I can't. I have to create a whole new string to do that.
Correct. If you say x equals hello, and then want x to be jello,
I have to reassign x, like x equals j plus x own.
and when you do that, Python creates a brand new object in memory.
So the old hello string is just gone? Or abandoned?
It's left there until the garbage collector cleans it up. The ID changes.
I see. So ID of x before and after the change would be different?
You got it. For mutable objects, ID of x stays the same after modification.
Why does Python make this distinction? Why not make everything mutable?
It's largely about safety and performance.
Safety I get, but how does making new objects help performance?
Well, think about dictionary keys. They have to be hashable and constant.
Oh, because if the key changed, you couldn't find the value anymore?
Exactly. That's why you can use a tuple as a key, but not a list.
Because tuples are immutable. I never connected those dots before.
Right. Tuples are basically immutable lists.
But wait, I have a tricky question I saw online.
Go for it.
What if I have a tuple that contains a list inside it?
Oh, the tuple containing a list edge case. I love this one.
The tuple is immutable, so it can't change, right?
The tuple itself cannot change which objects it holds.
But the list inside it is mutable.
Yes. So you can modify the list inside the tuple.
Does that mean the tuple is actually mutable?
No, the tuple is still immutable because it's pointing to the same list object.
But the data structure effectively changed content?
Value of the tuple changed, but its structure of references didn't.
That is mind-bending.
It is. The tuple says, I am holding object A. That never changes.
But object A decides to grow an extra arm.
Great analogy. The tuple is just holding the leash.
Okay, that clarifies the gray area.
Another big thing is how they behave in functions.
You mean pass-by reference versus pass-by value?
Sort of. Python is pass-by object reference.
So if I pass a list to a function and change it, it changes outside too?
Yes, because it's mutable, the function gets the same object reference.
But if I pass a number or an integer?
Integers are immutable. If the function adds one, it makes a new int.
So the variable outside the function remains untouched.
Exactly, unless you return the new value and reassign it outside.
This actually explains a bug I had last week with a default list argument.
Let me guess. Def function. My underscore list equals.
Yes, the list kept growing every time I called the function.
That's because the default list is created once at definition time.
And since it's mutable, every call was modifying that same single list.
You nailed it. That is the classic mutable default argument trap.
So I should use none as the default instead?
Yes. If my underscore list is none, my underscore list equals inside the function.
Because that creates a new empty list every time the function runs?
Exactly. You are really getting the hang of this.
It feels much clearer now. The memory address concept is the key.
Visualize the object ID. If it stays, it's mutable. If it shifts, it's immutable.
Thanks. I feel ready to tackle that interview question now.
You're going to do great. Just remember the tuple with a list trick.